can just go on to the third line now, and then before we move on to your solo, and let's hear you play that. Good. That was just one mistake I saw there. What is your fingering for F sharp in a chromatic passage?
In a chromatic passage? Oh, isn't it that side one?
Yeah, it's a side key, so you don't slide your fingers. That's why you heard that little interruption of the trill when you flam when you try to play it. So how about you can just play from the E to the E. You don't have to go down to the second line, and let's try to use the correct F sharp. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a lot more smooth. Awesome. Good job. Okay, and you had mentioned you're playing chartreuse for your solo. How's that coming along?
It's okay. It's not bad. Okay.
Alright, we can just start from, where you come in, and you can take it at the tempo you feel comfortable. We'll go through this first page first and see how that goes. So you can play up to this fermata here. See how it goes. We just go over some stuff that are taking place here. You started very strong. I can tell you play a woodwind. Specifically double reed. That tongue comes out on saxophone. Your articulations are very accurate, and I just wanted to ask what do you say is taking place in the embouchure on the third line when you have those those not articulated notes? So
yeah, it felt like the tone got really tight.
Yeah, so as you were going higher, the tone seems to have gotten tighter. So what do you say was taking place in the embouchure when you were trying to?
I feel like there's a lot more pressure that I was applying.
Okay, you were applying a lot more pressure from where were you applying the pressure?
From about the A to the C.
Okay, so you were applying A to C, and then you released the pressure when you went down from the B to the E?
Yeah, a little bit, but not much, because it still sounded a little hinged.
Okay, good, yeah. So I think there should be a little pressure being put for those higher notes, but I did kind of hear the pressure come off too much when you were trying to jump down to the E, because it changed drastically when you got back to the C, to the high C and the D. So what we can do there is the pressure is applied from your top teeth, so you can lean your head forward. So you can apply the pressure when you're going up to the C, and then release it very slightly with a slightly increased air stream. And as you go higher, you can angle your head down just very slightly. I mean, I should almost not see your head like turn down. It should be very little with the teeth, and the bottom lip stays put where it is.
Okay.
And that's how you apply the pressure. So let's try from the F there on the third line and the last measure.
17?
Yes. So we'll just continue. fits. So let's let's. The first time you had played the high D, after you had those few bars of rest, it sounded a lot better than the second time you attempted it. I think it was because you kept your embouchure foot from the measures, just a few back. So how about we try the second time around when you get the high D there, and you have those few bars of playing, and as you were trying to get softer in the A, let's keep the same amount. I mean, you can loosen the pressure a bit on your embouchure, but if you to get softer. But if you, in order for it to sound good and sustained, you have to increase the speed very little. So it's
like the speed of the air.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of it's like one of those like these things.
Okay.
Pat your head and rub your tummy kind of thing. So as
Pat
your
your head faster, you gotta rub your tummy faster.
it's just yeah. So as you're loosening the embouchure very slightly, you're increasing the speed very slightly.
Okay.
So actually, let's try both of the passages to see if you can get them both.
Oops notes.
Yeah, that time it went a lot better, especially in that last note you were sustaining, and you had a very consistent tone. You sustained it throughout the whole thing. Let's jump into the next session there. You can start with that triplet or not if you want. Good. Yeah, we can just go over some of the stuff here. You played it. You executed the articulations very well. I would like to see more of a difference from these long notes compared to your staccato notes there.
Okay.
So when you're tonguing, what part of the tongue are you striking? What part of the reed with?
Probably like the tip or the middle of the tongue to the tip or the middle of the reed.
Okay. Right, so how about we go? There was one thing that was very accurate about that, and one thing that was semi-accurate. The reed, I think, should be consistently at the tip. With your tongue, it is okay to, I want to say the middle, but a little behind the tip. A little behind the tip. I mean, if your tongue is a little thicker, a little longer, it's very appropriate to strike it with a little behind the tip, and I think it'll clean up some of that articulation. So how about we just play those few first few phrases, and as you get louder too, your you seem to get a little sharp. I mean, your dynamic was, it was, you executed it well, but you need to get a little sharp. So we can loosen the embouchure very slightly, because you're doing both tightening and using fast speed, which is causing for you to play a little sharp.
Okay.
So.